The current UK population is 66.65 million people. Now, out of those people, 666,500 definitely think the Earth is flat. 1,333,000 think it may be, which means in the UK we have 1,999,500 complete morons. And Carl Froch is one of them. So let me ask you this. Did you think the Earth was flat before you watched flat Earth videos on YouTube?
Go nuts on my nuts.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Playing a Blinder with me, the Creaky Blinder. Now in today's episode we're going to be taking a look at Carl Froch, legendary boxer and person of influence. Now generally when you talk about flat earthers, they're harmless enough. And it's fun to point and laugh. But when somebody like Carl Froch, a person of influence, becomes involved, I think it gets to be more of a problem. Now today we're going to be taking a look at one of his recent podcasts where he's talking to, for some strange reason, a booty guru about the shape of the Earth. So let's do that now. Tidy!
It could be flat for all we know. We've never been high enough to see the curvature of the Earth.
And as you can see, influentially maybe, smart, he is not. We've never been high enough to see the curvature of the Earth. Really, Carl?
I've got this thing with my brother at the minute, my older brother. So he's a flat earther.
Well, I had no idea that stupid was hereditary. Or does your brother get punched in the head for a living like you do?
He's a big fan of that Mark Sargent. I don't know if you know who he is. Mark Sargent's like the leader of the Flat Earth Society.
Well, she's not going to know, is she? Because I'm hoping she isn't a flat earther. Yet. But Mark Sargent couldn't lead a monkey to a banana raffle. He may be the most well-known flat earther, granted, but he probably can't even spell leader.
We've had him on our British television on GMTV. And Philip Schofield was trying to denounce him and tried to ruin him, but he was too clever. Clever. Yeah, I made a video about it. Have a look at it. You decide whether Mark Sargent was too clever for Philip Schofield. He wasn't. He's come across really, really well. Now, if by coming across really well you mean he came across as an idiot, or a fool, or an ass,
3 hours later,
a half-wit, an imbecile, a dullard, then yeah, he definitely came across well.
And if you try and prove that the Earth is a globe, and prove that it's spherical by shape,
we don't need to prove the Earth is a sphere, because the Earth is a sphere. The burden of proof is on flat earthers, but it's fine. We'll wait. You may as well get comfortable, this could take a while.
I've failed for like 18 months trying to prove to my brother that the Earth is not flat, so I've given up now.
I know exactly what you mean, Carl. I gave up a long time ago trying to prove to flat earthers that the Earth is a globe, because it's completely pointless. I mean, if somebody wants to upload content to YouTube discussing the shape of the Earth because they doubt the reality that we live in, then who am I to stand in their way? I wouldn't want to be accused of being close-minded or anything, but the type of people that discuss flat Earth are the type of people that can't walk and chew chewing gum at the same time.
I'm not a flat earther. I don't think the Earth's flat, but I also don't think the Earth's round.
Okay, cool. But if you don't think it's flat and you don't think it's round, you are kind of limiting your choices a little bit, Carl.
I don't think it's a globe. I'm like on the fence. Until I go high enough to see it and see the curve of the Earth, I don't know where the hell we are and what we're on. For all we know, it is flat.
Ah, right, so you're one of those guys then. If I can't see it with my own eyes, how do I know it's real? Do you enjoy breathing, Carl? Because I can't see oxygen, but I don't die, strangely enough. I just have to trust science that there is oxygen available for me to breathe. Thanks, atmosphere.
For all we know, there's a firmament dome that separates the waters, like it says in the Bible. But
now, for all of those watching with accents, he may have sounded like he just said but what he actually said was but the Bible says there's a firmament. Have you seen that, Carl? Because you seem to be quite happy to take that on face value, but the shape of the Earth, which is backed up by predictable observations that we can make very accurately, not to mention the thousands of photographs we have of the globe, none of those are reliable to you because they aren't stated in my holy book.
all these images from NASA, all these CGI images,
CGI,
fake space images that they've got, I ain't buying any of that. And that space station as well, it looks dodgy to me. They're hanging up on harnesses making out they're floating. Don't look right.
Now cast your mind back to the very beginning of this video where I said this. Did you think the Earth was flat before you watched flat Earth videos? Maybe Carl Froch retired a little bit too young and gave himself a lot of time on his hands to dive down the YouTube rabbit hole. And is this woman actually going to say anything? I've done a little bit of podcasting myself, as you'll know if you're a regular viewer. Now, I'm no Joe Rogan, but I think it's usually polite to let your guests speak as well.
I definitely think we're not being told the full truth.
Perfect. The first time she opens her mouth, she says that.
There's no doubt about that.
When did the government ever tell us the truth?
Never.
When did they ever tell us the truth? Look at all the conspiracies. I mean, we could go on forever.
Now, to say the government never tell us the truth, in my opinion, is a huge over-exaggeration. Of course, there are many, many occasions where the government hide things for us. But have you ever stopped to think for a second that there may be a very good reason why they do that? For example, if something's going on that we may be fearful of, keeping it to themselves prevents mass hysteria. But to say that that's one of the reasons why you think the Earth is flat just goes to show how stupid you really are.
I'm really fascinated because I'm open-minded. I'm not somebody who's asking a question and just going to be closed-minded about it and not take into consideration the facts that you could possibly bring to the table. I'm definitely not that person.
And I completely agree, because I'm exactly the same way. I don't take anything at face value. The reason I understand and believe that we live on a globe is because of the huge number of proofs that are available to anybody. Now, I don't know who's watching this now that watches Professor Dave's channel, but Professor Dave had a brilliant video on his channel a couple of days ago, and he was talking about the face of the moon and how we all see the exact same thing every single night without fail when we look at the moon. Now, if you look at the so-called flat Earth model, the moon isn't, it's kind of central, and they say it rotates on its own axis. So by that logic, people who live on one side of the flat Earth would be seeing a different moon to the moon people on the other side see. Well, not a different moon, but the other side of the moon, if that makes sense. So whilst I agree that you should never take anything on face value, saying that you think the Earth is flat because NASA and the government lies to us is probably the single most stupid thing a human being can say.
Let's challenge all your listeners. So I'm going to do this on my podcast at some stage. I'm going to challenge my listeners to just tell me why the Earth's a sphere.
Well, that's just such an easy question to answer, Carl. Lunar eclipses, the sun rising, the fact that we all see the same face of the moon. Thanks, Dave. Ships going over the horizon as they go out of sight.
That's just perspective.
No, it's not perspective. If we need to prove that the Earth is a sphere, what are you going to do to prove that the Earth is flat? Because so far you've come up with nothing, and you've made a lot of noise whilst coming up with nothing.
Just so I can give it to my brother, but I've asked a couple of people I know, and I know some very intelligent people. I've met some very clever people, like people who are almost, well, I think one guy is a rocket scientist. His dad's a rocket scientist. I won't mention the guy's name, but his dad's a rocket scientist. He's so clever. And
you've met a lot of very intelligent people, and none of them have been able to give you examples of ways in which we know for a fact that the Earth is a globe. I find that difficult to believe, Carl, and your logic is absolutely flawless. A friend of yours, his dad is a rocket scientist. What difference does that make? He could be thicker than a bull's knob and twice as veiny. Just because his dad's a rocket scientist, it doesn't mean he's smart. My cousin is a doctor. That doesn't make me a doctor. You idiot.
I've asked him, I said, get hold of your dad. I can wait, I don't mind, and just prove to me that the Earth's a sphere. Just tell me one or two reasons that I can now go back to my brother and say, listen, Lee, shut your mouth, you're talking bollocks, the Earth's definitely a ball.
Right, Mr. Froch. Point 1. You're quite safe to go straight back to your brother now and tell him he's talking bollocks. Just use the couple of examples I just gave. Lunar eclipses, sunsets, ships disappearing over the horizon. But being a flat earther, he'll probably just scream bullshit on all of them. But anyway, that's by the by. We can only try. And as far as your friend's dad, let's assume he is a rocket scientist. If your friend asked him to provide you, a public figure, with proof that the Earth is a globe, he's probably still rolling on the floor, pissing himself laughing now.
And lo and behold, nothing. Nothing that I've not already seen or heard. Fake space, CGI images.
CG.
Fake NASA stuff. Pictures
Okay, but I
from
have
the
two
blue
questions.
moon.
I have two
No
questions.
curvature. No measurable curvature. You can't measure any curvature. You're supposed to lose. The curve is 8 inches per mile squared. So if you travel a mile, you lose about 8 inches. Yeah? You know what 8 inches is roughly, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know why that's made me laugh.
Grow up, Carl. Leave the penis jokes to me, please.
But you lose 8 inches per mile squared with a curve. So there's certain things you wouldn't be able to see in the distance if you zoomed into them. They'd be disappeared behind the curve.
Do you mean like this? There's no amount of zoom that's going to get this back into view. I know flat earthers have got a massive boner for the P900 or the P1000. The reason the boat is hidden from the bottom up by the horizon is because it started to go over the curve.
So research flat Earth and let me know what you think, because it's so interesting.
I'm definitely going to, because like I said, I'm open-minded. However, I don't believe in it. From what I've seen, I don't believe it. From what I can gather, I believe that we do live on a planet, a circular planet at that. However, I do have two questions that maybe you can answer for me based on what Lee's told you.
2 questions? Oh, I hope Carl likes a challenge. Carl, just a tip. 2 is the number that comes after 1 and just before 3.
Yeah,
Number
well,
1.
I can answer any flat Earth question, any one you got in the world, because I've had it for 2 years.
Okay. So
Number
1 is, if the world was flat, or if where we live is flat,
yeah.
would we not hit the end, or would the water not fall off?
Fire away, Carl.
Flat Earthers have Antarctica around the outside circumference of the flat Earth. So imagine Earth as a plate, like a plate, and the ice wall is all the way around the outside edge of the flat Earth, and that contains all the oceans and all the waters.
But ice floats on water, and it basically just goes further and further downhill from here. Watch this video next, and then let me know down in the comments if Mark Sargent did the flat Earth proud on British TV. I'm the Creaky Blinder. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye bye.